is it real? Rappers acting steady high, steady simple pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up, had to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in the field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Took the way you saw the world, then distorted it. Now you think you want a rocket twirl, somewhere orbited. Theories disproportionate, the truth distorted quick with a forceful grip. They force them to simple that we absorb it quick. Took the people's signature, that mean extorted it. They forging it, abusing cause informants who informing them. There's a surplus, but they tell us there are shortages. Credit economy mortgages, dollar that's supported with empty fortresses. But what support is this? We port and ship supporting gifts. Of course it is, but extortion is in accordance with an assortment list of foreign tricks. We ignoring which informant disinform resist. It looked like we were storing tricks. Pedophilia and the government endorsing it. Yeah, eugenics is exactly what abortion is. You just vilify those as subordinate. Way to matrix engineer, that's unfortunate. Geopolitically, we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Rappers acting steady high, steady simple pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up just to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in the field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real?
Oh, hey, what's up, guys? I think we're good on D Live. Oh, we're good on D Live. What's up, all the legends in D Live? We got 33. Thank you for all of the subs. Y'all are awesome. Just left a David Weiss interview. Dearth. David is too cool. Yeah, he's cool. All right, so I just labeled it possibility because there's all kinds of things that could go on, and like I'm breaking down some of the Trump stuff. I can tell everyone's real tense. It's better to like be prepared, to like not just get caught off guard or whatever. So I'm just gonna like just wing this stream and give y'all a few like hypotheticals of what could happen. There's all kinds of things that could happen. But once again, shout out to all the legends in D Live that subbed. That's awesome. We made the 20. It's only 20. We made the 20. But hey, keep subbing and just come be a fan. Just come be part of the fam. You know what I mean? Come be a family. All right. Yeah. And smash the Rogans up. I would say helps with the algorithms, but apparently they don't even have to notify you when they take your stuff down anymore. So it's a bit of a pipe dream. All right. Let's just get into it. So. Share screen. All right, let's check out this little grabbler. All right, so basically, I know it's just somewhat reiterative maybe, and it's like, oh man, we gotta talk about the Antichrist, but it's just like, dude, I didn't make the world, but the point is that a bunch of crazy stuff's going on. We should probably get on our P's and Q's. So like the way I see it right now is Trump could be the Antichrist. Trump could be the false prophet. And a lot of people I know that just immediately don't want to hear it. They're like, oh, you're just some Christian, so you think it's the end. I mean, you can think that, right? But you should, if being intellectually honest, you should examine all of the evidence, like, corroborate the evidence. So anyway, I think he could be a false prophet, right? Because like we showed you yesterday, this is what the stream's about. There's the potential avenues from here forward of what could happen, right? So I showed you last night. So I say he could be the false prophet. And the beast was taken, and the false prophet, which he deceived them, that had received the mark of the beast. Okay, so, Trump may be the guy that gets everyone to take the mark or whatever and deceives them. I think it's very possible and even maybe probable that they keep rolling it out to where it's like very obvious that this vaccine just is stupid and sucks. Because they already have this like new facilitation method, this new technology, this new type of, let's just say, replacement for the use case of a vaccine. It's going to be easily administered, and that's why Trump just straight up tells you, like, Operation Warp Speed, we're going to use the military in a powerful way to get these inoculations out. It has something to do with quantum dot tattoo, I would say. Clearly has something to do with connecting you to the cloud. Within 9 months, literally, it's after 9 months, they can completely predict your body activity. You're just a robot. It just sounds like science fiction, but this is from me going and reading all of the technologies and patents and the medical journals. I mean, they're not like, it's not like they hide and do this. They just know people are stupid. So anyway, long story short, it's very possible Trump comes in and still does this. Now, it's also once again possible that this mark, it evolves in many different ways that you can take it, and ultimately it's all centered around the same technology. Okay, now that's where I'm at. That's what I think, because the vaccine thing is just so obvious, right? So it's not obvious. The mark isn't that obvious. Again, this is all just my opinions. I'm not some type of prophet. Take it or leave it. All right, so let's just check them out. We got this other option here who seems to fit a lot of the bills, so check it out. I heard saw people telling me I'm a little loud. I try to turn my mic down. Maybe it's not too loud. Let's get into it.
Sometimes I'm not on time. But I get it done. It's important that we try to become a multi-planet civilization, extend life beyond Earth. I'd like to introduce the first paying customer of VFR, Saku Mizawa. Please come forward. I feel very confident predicting autonomous robotaxis for Tesla next year. Not in all jurisdictions, because we won't have regulatory approval everywhere, but I'm confident we'll have at least regulatory approval somewhere literally next year. So any customer will be able to add or remove their car to the Tesla network. So we expect this to operate is sort of like a combination of maybe the Uber and Airbnb model.
Trust me, I know what you're thinking. How is this goober the Antichrist? I don't know. I'm just saying. He checks a lot of boxes. He's definitely gonna have to transform or something.
The deepest mines are much deeper than the tallest buildings are tall. So you can alleviate any arbitrary level of open congestion with the 3D tunnel network. This is a very important point.
looks just like an iRobot scene. Oh, Las Vegas is next, huh?
That's amazing. Production begins 2019.
Is Trump the false prophet setting up the
Try to get the trucks
infrastructure?
a moment. Give the trucks a moment.
Right, that's the question. Is Trump the false prophet setting up the infrastructure? Yeah, guys, I get it. I see in the chat. I don't brush my hair. We get it. We get it. I think my hat's around here somewhere, and I'm just gonna put it on. I heard you talking about Jerusalem. What if it was New Jerusalem in the sky? Well, I think they have like an underground little creepy graveler tunnel. That's what I think. What's the topic? All the possibilities of the end. So we got potentially Trump's the Antichrist, right? And potentially he's the false prophet. Is he setting up the infrastructure for the Antichrist? Because that is what Trump's doing, right? Like I've been predicting this in a much more surface level way for a long time now, where I'm talking about, you know, Trump's written in the world play as a hero or whatever. But this could be just laying the infrastructure. This is why I've been very careful to say, like, I'm not stamping everything that Leland Jones says. I'm not saying that I think he's exactly accurate. I'm saying they are, at the least, like, very conscious and aware of the sky, the royal calendar, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The actual feast, the meaning of them. And what you find out is with all these, this whole playbook, it's always inverting like the truth about Yeshua and stuff. So it's pretty, I mean, you can think it's all fake if you want to. You can think it's all fake, but they're literally all going by it. So at the least, you should be concerned with informing yourself as to what it is. Like at the least. So I've never understood that part. But anyway, so we're going to get into another video. We'll see. I mean, I just said this dude checks a lot of the boxes too. And is he part of the one, you know, that is like the military going to have, you know, cooperated with Elon, right? Or Tesla. I don't know. Maybe they bring in the new, okay, we get it. People's faces are changing. People are passing out. People are dying. People are screaming that they were detached from God permanently. It doesn't make any sense. We tell you that if you take it, you still have to come back and take it again. And then after you take it again, you might even have to take it a third time. It really doesn't matter, though. Even after all 3 times, you still have to keep wearing a mask, and you still have to social distance, and you still need to stay in your house and not to do anything or be free. Okay, and we're not even sure if this is going to help with anything. This may just help with symptoms, which we've told you that asymptomatic carriers are not a threat, but then we tell you that they're like the biggest threat. And now, right after we tell you they're the biggest threat, we're telling you we're going to create a ton of asymptomatic carriers that won't actually prevent the spread. Of course, this is all pseudoscience, but it doesn't matter. They're making it very obvious that their story is stupid. So we got to get to the bottom of this. It's not as simple as, hey, everybody come get jabbed with poison. People that don't know the first thing about Yeshua aren't going to fall for that. Like, let's get real. So just to clarify what people think, like, I'm just saying don't take the vaccine because that could be the first version of the mark. You know, if it's genetically altering your RNA, I would just say I don't want anything to do with that. Moving on.
To the Neuralink product demo. I'm really excited to show you what we've got. I think it's gonna blow your mind.
Billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk's Russian startup Neuralink unveiled a pig named Gertrude that has had a coin-sized computer chip in its brain for 2 months late Friday, showing off an early step toward the goal of curing human diseases with the same type of implant. Co-founded by Tesla Incorporated and SpaceX CEO Musk in 2016, San Francisco Bay Area-based Neuralink aims to implant wireless brain-computer interfaces in the most complex human organ to help cure neurological conditions like Alzheimer's, dementia, and spinal cord injuries, and ultimately fuse humankind.
Yeah, dude, there's nothing sketchy at all about putting a chip in your brain. All right? Nah.
With artificial intelligence. An implantable device can actually solve these problems.
See, this is more like what we all expect, right? We all expect them to literally do something like this, but this is the thing everyone needs to understand. They've got to coax you into that. They've got to lead you to that point, dude. They're not going to just jump out here and be like, hey, and everyone needs to put a chip in their brain. That will never work, okay? But they're going to morph it into this false need to stop the spread or whatever, which is where it gets interesting. You start thinking about Elon. He's kind of calling out that it's nonsense. And so if they can find a way for he's calling out the politicization of it more specifically. So if they can publicly for a while now. So if they use him to come in and address it as if it is a real problem, it's just being politicized, and that the government taking over is never the answer. And here's an answer: nanotechnology, biomedical upgrade and advances where we can actually use remote viewing, tracking the light activity within one's body to prevent them from getting sick, to fix ailments, and then of course to ultimately connect to the AI augmented reality cloud, where in which you will be rewarded for compliant body activity via the patent from Microsoft.
Said on a webcast Friday, mentioning ailments such as memory loss, hearing loss, depression, and insomnia. Musk did not provide a timeline for those treatments, appearing to retreat from earlier statements that human trials would begin by the end of this year. Neuralink's first clinical trials with a small number of human patients would be aimed at treating paralysis or paraplegia, the company's head surgeon Dr. Matthew McDougall said.
I haven't watched this, but who told this guy to talk like that, man? Like, bruh. I'm sorry, guys. I was unaware.
So paraplegia, the company's head surgeon Dr. Matthew McDougall said. The Russian son affiliated with the company said the presentation indicated that Neuralink had made great strides, but cautioned that longer studies were needed. Musk presented what he described as the Three Little Pigs demo. Gertrude, the pig with a Neuralink implant in the part of its brain that contracted as the great strides, but cautioned that
the Three Little Pigs, dude. I wonder what the pigs are talking about. I'm going to back this up a second. I'll be right back. I'm going to play just a little bit so I can go do some real fast.
Neurological conditions like Alzheimer's, dementia, and spinal cord injuries, and ultimately fuse humankind with artificial intelligence. An implantable device can actually solve these problems, Musk said on a webcast Friday, mentioning ailments such as memory loss, hearing loss, depression, and insomnia. Musk did not provide a timeline for those treatments, appearing to retreat from earlier statements that human trials would begin by the end of this year. Neuralink's first clinical trials with a small number of human patients would be aimed at treating paralysis or paraplegia, the company's head surgeon Dr. Matthew McDougall said. The Russian son affiliated with the company said the presentation indicated that Neuralink had made great strides, but cautioned that longer studies were needed. Musk presented what he described as the Three Little Pigs demo. Gertrude, the pig with a Neuralink implant in the part of its brain that controls the snout, required some coaxing by Musk to appear on camera, but eventually began eating off of a stool and sniffing straw, triggering spikes on a graph tracking the animal's neural activity.
Took a while to be like, oh my gosh, what's going on? I'm a robot now. And of course, we all know the spiritual significance of pigs. It's filthy. Unclean spirits were cast into them. Yeshua cast demons into the pigs, dude, into the swine. I mean, come on.
Musk said the company had 3 pigs with 2 implants each, and also revealed a pig that previously had an implant. They were healthy, happy, and indistinguishable from a normal pig, Musk said. Musk described Neuralink's chip, which is roughly 23 millimeters, 0.9 inch in diameter, as a Fitbit in your skull with tiny wires. I could have a Neuralink right now and you wouldn't know, Musk said. Maybe I do. One comment from a webcast viewer.
Get out of here, dude. Maybe I do.
One comment from a webcast viewer described the animals as cyborg.
Graham Moffat, a University of Toronto Neuroscience research fellow, said Neuralink's advancements were order of magnitude leaps beyond current science, thanks to the novel chip size, portability, and wireless capabilities. Stanford University neuroscientist Sergei Stavisky said the company had made substantial and impressive progress since an initial demonstration of an earlier chip in July 2019. Going from that to the fully implanted system with several peaks they showed is impressive, and, I think, really highlights the strengths of having a large multidisciplinary team focused on this problem, Stavisky said. Some researchers said longer studies would be required to determine the longevity of the device. Must set the focus.
This sounds like Black Mirror stuff. Yeah, no doubt, dude. It's strange that they believe they could fix these things. Well, what if they can give the illusion of fixing them? That's kind of my whole thing, right? Like, people have been getting stuff in their brain for a while now. Yeah, but wait until it just becomes a normal thing where it's in the form of an invisible, really convenient, painless, impossible to detect stamp. So that's what's coming. I didn't wait. I'm not leaving y'all hanging, D-Lo. I've had to get everything pulled up. Yeah, dude, I'm not even, he said this footage is fake. Like, I'm not attesting to any of the validity of mainstream videos and stuff, guys. I'm just trying to paint a picture together. You have to realize that this deception that we're discussing with the title of the stream, Possibility, is the possibility of avenues for the greatest deception ever. And that means it gets everybody. And so what are they coaxing as a collective consciousness? And that's why I don't entertain very small, I would say, lazy explanations about the surface within the confinement of this division that they propagate onto us, because the actual deception does not come like that. It comes across the board.
So Friday's event was recruiting, not fundraising. Musk has a history of bringing together diverse experts to drastically accelerate the development of innovations previously limited to academic labs, including rocket, hyperloop, and electrical vehicle technologies, through companies such as Tesla and SpaceX. Neuralink has received $158 million in funding, $100 million of which came from Musk, and employs about 100 people. Small devices that electronically stimulate nerves and brain areas to treat hearing loss and Parkinson's disease have been implanted in humans for decades.
Under an hour. So you can basically go in the morning and leave it alone.
Dun, dun, dun. Shut up. All right. Sorry about that. I know that was exhilarating. We'll watch one more minute long.
So this is our surgical robot. And we actually ultimately want this robot to do essentially the entire surgery. So in everything from incision, removing the skull, inserting the electrodes, placing the device, and then closing things up and having you ready to leave. So we want to have a fully automated system.
I bet you do.
And to clear, this robot does actually work. We've used it for all of the implantations. So this shows you at sort of close-up view, which I think is actually not too gruesome, of the electrodes being inserted in the brain.
Look at that, bro.
And if you look closely, you will see that it's a little counterintuitive that if the electrodes are inserted very carefully, that there's no bleeding. And so if you have very tiny electrodes, and if they're inserted very carefully, so that the robot actually images the brain and makes sure to avoid any veins or arteries, so that the electrodes can be inserted with no noticeable damage. So you will have no noticeable neural damage in inserting the link.
You're real convincing.
Yeah, like you sort of think like if you stab something with a wire, surely it will bleed, but actually at a really small scale, it does not.
Oh, wow. Then please let me just give you my body autonomy, then, you grabbler. What a crazy person. So yeah, I mean, we all know, right? Like, in a lot of ways, Elon Musk fits the bill, right? That certainly add up to our carnal mind. And that's why I want to make sure that we all remember, you got to step back, dude. Sometimes these things are way deeper than you think. But why would they not send you with some distraction that's really blatant right in front of your face, while simultaneously, with the other hand, trying to sneak the actual figure in? That's actually exactly what they would do. I've always thought I can't be Elon because he can't even speak coherently, but I don't know. Maybe he ends up being a little more charismatic or something. I would say from a mainstream perspective, it seems like a lot more people like him, right? Like from both sides or whatever. So it fulfills that in a lot of ways. But if then again, like we explained with Trump, you can worship someone without liking them. And it says that they worship the image. They worship him. So now this is where it gets real crazy, though. If Trump's the false prophet, now we're like really cooking with, I don't know the saying, grease, whatever you say there. But like, oh yeah, fire. We're really cooking with fire when we add Trump in as the false prophet in lots of ways. Like now we've just across the board started checking things off, and it gets really, really crazy. He coaxes them into taking the mark. He announces some type of contract agreement beyond just SpaceX with Tesla, the creepy little grabbler that's clearly a sodomite, Austin Steinbart, that I pointed out to you guys in the QAnon Exposed stream. He's all about some Elon Musk, okay, and that should probably raise some red flags for you too, if you know what my take is on all of that. So one thing that I think we should check out is how much they're doubling down on the space thing. So I was looking at it like as the possibilities, as is the name of the stream, being basically that they would double down on space, or they would actually absorb the flat earth truth. Because what better way than to trick people than to absorb certain truths? So, like, that's what this trick is going to do regardless. Like, they're going to be like, oh, look, the FBI is corrupt. And we're supposed to act really surprised and pretend it's such a noble, admirable thing to do, to call out corruption that's been blatantly subverting our entire country for, like, since it started. So it's that kind of thing that's going to get people. Let me see here if this is it. There's a compilation I want you to see. I should have, I thought I had this already pulled up. I'm sorry, but it's just really weird. Okay, this is it. Yeah, here we go. All right. Super. Dude, these people are just losers, bro. Sorry about all that, but here we go. Where's the freaking beginning? All right, forget it. Peace and prosperity. Literally just put a bull right in front of you. All about gold and money. Lowest unemployment for women. Make sure we break up the families. Judges. This is way deeper than people realize this stuff is. Judges. Temple. Rebuild the temple. Bam. Okay, so the lion with wings of an eagle. If you look closely, head, wings, lion with the wings of an eagle. He constantly references himself as the lion. And of course, I showed you the Zionist coin that has both a lion and an eagle on there. Now listen carefully. What does this sound like? Listen for an eagle and a lion. You hear the eagle? trumpets. So let's be real, guys. Trump is still at the forefront. Like, it's just super creepy and super eerie. I don't know. I don't know if Trump is the one that announces this freaking thing and then like Elon Musk steps up and stamps him and helps coax people into it. I don't even know if Elon has anything to do with it. It's just real weird. It's real weird, right? So I'll save. We're gonna do a whole. Like, I've already started on the PowerPoint. We'll get into. We're gonna break down the Trump thing. I'm gonna give y'all a break on it after this stream. We're just gonna cover a bunch of possibilities. So everyone should be cool. Okay. So now here's another one of the possibilities. We got this creepy little grabbler known as none other than Jared Kushner.
President Trump's son-in-law has a 41-story size problem at 666 Fifth Avenue. Jared Kushner's company still holds half of the $1.2 billion mortgage and hasn't paid a cent, forcing the Kushners to look overseas for investors. Caleb Melby's recent story on the Bloomberg takes a deep dive into Kushner's struggles with the property. Caleb joins us now. Caleb, great stuff. Walk me through what's the new here.
Right. So we had known that Kushner companies had looked for funds with Ambang in China. They had gone to Qatar. This story reveals that they also talked to a developer in Saudi Arabia. They went to the Korean Sovereign Wealth Fund, talked to some Israeli banks and insurers as well.
Like, dude, I'm not gonna lie. This dude looks empty, bro. Look at this dude. Ah, man, I can't help. I almost feel bad for this dude just by looking at him. That's like a wildly low level of depravity in this dude.
Talked to some Israeli banks and insurers as well, trying to find one of two things: either a way to refinance the mortgage on that tower, or in most cases,
dude, aliens are clearly real.
To buy into this very expensive, very grand redevelopment plan they have for the building.
So what happened?
Nobody's committed any funds yet.
Nothing to see here, guys. Nothing to see.
There's
by the way, you used to be able to find good videos, like little short, well put together videos about Jared Kushner. Those are gone.
looking.
How much time do they have?
The mortgage is due February 2019, and we got to talk to the president of Kushner Companies, Laurent Morali, and he'll tell you that that's plenty of time in real estate finance to find someone to do this deal with them. But they've also been looking for a long time already.
Any chance it's actually going to get done?
Anything's possible, and they tell you they have a lot of contingency plans. Either they create that 81-story building with condos that go at $9,000 per square foot and a huge retail mall, or
bro, I'm so sorry that we sat here and listened to this loser. God, no one cares. Okay, thanks for helping out with the a gifted sub, Red for Bear, obviously a legend, and thanks for helping moderate. And if you don't know, we did a stream where she jumped on called Synthetic Lies. Don't be lame. Go check it out. All right, so we got here Jared Kushner, right? Like $1.8 billion or $18 billion, one of the two, for this little creepy building, 666 Fifth Avenue. Okay, we have the prediction a long time ago that people would revolt against the president on Fifth Avenue in New York, and on the sixth floor, there's a company contracted through there that actually manufactures microchips on the sixth floor of 666 Fifth Avenue. This is not a conspiracy theory. You can just look it up. This guy is supposedly in charge of coming up with the peace deal in the Middle East. He's the one, it's accredited to. So we do got some creepy stuff, and actually something just popped in my head that I should show you guys when it comes to this guy. So he is decently. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I have a problem. Fully figuring this little graveler out, because he sounds like such a gamma that's real nervous sometimes, and sometimes he sounds like it's like he's playing a game where he's intentionally trying not to show how good he can talk or something. It's really crazy, Pete. So see if there. Yeah, here we go. I don't want to listen to that much of it, dude. Okay, here we go. So. Shout out to everybody in D-Live that hit me with a sub. Anyway, I don't want people to think I'm like leaving them hanging. I always forget to check DLive. So, oh yeah, we got this right here. I don't want to leave you hanging either. Martial law 2021. I don't know. Maybe. I don't really know. It's possible. I don't know. I don't even think it's needed. Martial law for the cities that burned down when they announced Trump wins. But thank you, Steve and me. $10. Always a great supporter. And it's much appreciated. All right. So we got Jared Kushner. All right. Acting all weird. Fifth Avenue. 666 Fifth Avenue. Bought it for 6 times 6 times 6, like billion. Or, it's like 1.8 billion, I think. He's in charge of the peace deal in the Middle East. He's like this little shadowy figure that no one talks about, and he has tons of power. But he hasn't fulfilled any. Like he will have to come out and have a very prominent role publicly before he. So in this scenario, things have yet to really ramp up, and I actually kind of lean that way, not towards Jared Kushner, just towards it. Maybe the one thing Leland's wrong about is the timeline. This is just all setting it up. I don't know though. And I know we'll know the season, and we'll be able to figure out a lot of things. But I think it's very specific when it says you will not know the day nor the hour. Like you're not going to know the exact day or the hour. It doesn't mean you're not going to know some like the times that are going on. It actually says the opposite of that. Anyway, once they promise peace and prosperity, comes instant destruction. Peace to prosperity.
To be clear, economic growth and prosperity for the Palestinian people are not possible without an enduring and fair political solution to the conflict.
I mean, I got no problem believing this dude doesn't like females. No desire for women. We checked that box pretty quickly.
To be clear, economic growth and prosperity for the Palestinian people are not possible without an enduring and fair political solution to the conflict, one that guarantees Israel's security and respects the dignity of the Palestinian people. However, today is not about the political issues. We'll get to those at the right time. The goal of this workshop is to begin thinking about these challenges in a new way. Let's try to view this conflict and the potential of the entire region through a different lens and work together to develop a concrete plan to try and achieve it. And commitment to bringing peace to the Middle East and also to throughout the UN for joining us here today. The people in this room are not people who... My direct message to the Palestinian people is that despite what those who have let you down in the past tell you, President Trump and America have not given up on you. This workshop is for you. The vision we developed...
This dude just doesn't have enough power to be the Antichrist, Like, something's got to give. Like, this dude's going to have to pop up, working very closely with Elon. I don't know. Like, that, for me, there's all the puzzle pieces have fallen into place for your boy Trump. Like, but I don't know. He's the one that's going to trick everyone into taking the mark. So he could be the false prophet. And is it this guy or Elon that steps in? I don't know. But we need to pay attention probably to all of these things now. If ever now, probably, right? Like, that's what I would guess.
Developed and released, if executed correctly, will lead to a better future for the Palestinian people, a future of dignity.
See, this dude's so incredibly boring. It's like exhausting to listen to 1 minute of him speaking. So I just don't, I don't lean towards him. Like, at least Trump is kind of funny and can like charismatically coax you into thinking he's making sense or he's right, because he just says things that are right sometimes. Like murdering babies is bad, even though, of course, we know he just is the master of deception.
Prosperity and opportunity. Investment funds from all over the world, builders, innovators away from hard problems, and everyone here would like to see us bring an end to this. Agreeing on an economic pathway forward is a necessary precondition to resolving what is a previously unsolvable political situation. What we have developed is the most comprehensive economic plan that has ever been created specifically for the Palestinians and for the broader Middle East. We can turn this region from a victim of past conflicts into a model for commerce advancement throughout the world. Right now, there's not a lot of private capital. There's not a lot of subsidized loans coming into this area. The first pillar is to unleash the economic potential of the Palestinian people and of the region, to empower the people, and then to enhance the Palestinian governments. You can't do one without the other two, and you need to be doing all three at the same time in order to make this work. So if we implement this...
First rule is to not look threatening. Well, you got that part covered. God, dude, you never wanted to just drop kick someone in the throat so much, allegedly.
This program, this is a very specifically designed program. We go down to the different projects. We built it based on a lot of the work that's been done in the past. We believe over time that we can double the GDP of the Palestinians. We can create over 1 million new jobs. We can reduce the unemployment rate to single digits, and we can reduce the poverty rate by 50%. I appreciate you all embracing this challenge with me.
Pretty poorly chopped up there. I don't know what this dude thinks he's doing. But, yeah, very simply, there is a moment in here where he's actually decently convincing. He's got some, like, charisma to him. He's got a little bit of, I don't know the word.
Have done to help us make this a reality. That can be implemented. We've had the isolated enclaves. You have a lot of fear of terror. There's not a great amount of security. And because of that,
peace and security, peace and prosperity.
The security's become very tight around the borders. Because of this tight security, I was talking to one developer, you can't get concrete in, you can't get a lot of goods in, and that makes the cost of living there much more expensive. Again, if we have a real peace and there's not a fear of people doing terrorism, then all of a sudden we can really thin the borders and allow for a much faster flow of goods and people. Promoting private sector.
I don't know. This for me, dude, is number 3. So we got for me, we got Donald Trump, then Elon Musk, and then Jared Kushner. If anyone else has got another person I think it is, I don't really see how we could go much beyond anyone else. But let me see what I got here. All right, now, I don't know where this guy plays into all of it. I'm going to come check out y'all's chats in a second and see what y'all think. We'll just talk. But this little grabbler, I guess in case you haven't already gotten this history lesson, we're going to check it out. But, yeah, we're going to break all this down after this. I've given 3, right? So we've got the possibilities for me, Donald Trump, of course, possibilities of the son of perdition, the Antichrist that comes and deceives everyone. We've got Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Jared Kushner. Now, one of these, eons ahead of the other two, because he's already fulfilled tons of prophecies, and the grabblers are literally acting like he's the Moshiach. Okay, and they're falsely attributing him to Cyrus. He's like an anti-Cyrus. He's a fake Cyrus, but they're doing that, and they're calling him anointed. And when you look in Jewish, that means Moshiach. Israel has the most power of any state in the entire world. So you people need to just swallow that fact and accept they're all about some Donald Trump. Okay, so that's clearly where I'm leaned 90%. I just figured I'd show everyone, I'd entertain all the possibilities. It's possible he's the false prophet. Someone like Elon steps in and then does something where maybe Elon dies. But they're able to bring him back using his technology. Whoa. Maybe I should chill. Maybe the grabblers watching, they're getting good script ideas. I'm just kidding. But that would be pretty crazy, right? Something happens to Elon Musk where it looks like he suffers a mortal head wound or something, and they're able to use a Neuralink to bring him back, or he already has one in there and is able to come back to life or something. That would be crazy. And then he comes in, he's like, oh, we're going to get rid of illness, bro. Just take this invisible tattoo. Something like that could happen. Let's be real. It's the possibilities are endless. That's why I put the infinity symbol in the sky. There are so many possibilities here. We need to be on the lookout. So I'm not just going to, I feel almost dishonest and disingenuous to make a stream about lollipops and sunshine and flowers, we got to speak the truth. And anyway, so here's a 4th grabbler we can entertain, see where he fits in all this. But we do know that Babylon is not one place, right? So Jerusalem is mystery Babylon. There's 10 mountains, 10 kings. So we have this strolled out all over the place. Of course, we also have people leading up, like Obama is one of the animals, like the leopard in the prophecy, right? We have a whole, these people aren't just irrelevant in the ultimate prophecies. those are for future streams. We're going to try and break it all down. And I have to, again, I have to pray, read all the different languages and stuff, and see what I feel led to come to, or what I feel I'm shown, not just listen to Leland and tell you what I think when he says something's right. I got to test it. So these are all hypothetical possibilities, but I don't know that you should just ignore them. That would be stupid, because there are people that you care about that when pressure comes, they will fold like lawn chairs. And so you need to make sure they're aware of some of this. And I know I just digress and I rant and stuff. So a couple people have made good points to me. Dave's been saying this to me forever, basically, just without saying it just straight up. But I'm going to make short videos. So when I make a stream, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to remember to always do a recap section that's kind of fast at the end, where we recap the stream. And then I'm going to clip that out. It's going to be like less than 5 minutes tops, like maybe like 3 minutes. And it'll be like a summary of each stream. And I'll post it like in the morning the next day or something like that. And that way you can send people the short breakdowns of like, okay, look, you need to be skeptical of Trump. I'll make little short videos so we can get it. I know some people are just like, golly, bro, 2.5 hours. I can't watch that. And I feel that. So here we go. Let's check out this fourth little grabbler we're going to introduce into the mix, get a context of how all this is working. This all comes back full circle to the protocols, right? Like, it always comes back to the same people, the synagogue Satan. But anyway.
This vast country's 11 time zones. And that will say it. Some critics of Putin, from gay rights activists to much of the Western world, will say it's a marriage made in hell. For Vladimir Putin and the Orthodox Church, it's simply a marriage made in convenience in Moscow, and indeed right across this vast country's 11 time zones. And that, say church and state, is just as it should be in this modern, old, forward-looking, backward-looking Russia that Putin has set about creating in 17 years in power. So how has Putin used the church to secure its position, and why does the church back his...
Right, like Antichrist spirits, dude, are going to be everywhere in the ends. And again, we have 10 mountains to Babylon, so we need to kind of get an idea of how this all goes in. Understand there's a hierarchy. There is an ultimate figure there. It is not all some woo-woo spiritual, metaphysical, allegorical, metaphorical representation of what's going on. We're told, no, there are kings, dude, and there's a figure that steps up. There's an actual figure at the top of this hierarchy. And now be honest with yourself. And at this point in time, who would be at the top of that hierarchy? There's only one answer, so.
Every action. It is in one sense all about tradition and strength, and the key historic tradition of Russia is the strong man as leader. And yes, they are all men, from Vlad the Impaler, Peter the Great, through Lenin and Stalin, the latter increasingly rehabilitated in Russia these days, to the current main man himself, Vladimir Putin. Strong male leader is comfortably mirrored by strong patriarchal church. The leader himself is called the patriarch. Putin and the Russian Orthodox Church walk hand in hand in so many ways, and Putin is keen to be with and be seen to be with the patriarch on key occasions of state and calendar. He is keen to be and seen to be at the church, a humble Russian worshipper.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna act like this dude's cool or something. Like, what are you doing? What are you wearing? This tracks back to the Aryans, by the way. Why are you wearing a dress? Why do you look like a dude? Why are you clearly a sodomite? And we're just gonna act like it's not a big deal. What's going on here? Like a lot of people treat me act like Putin's real based. Well, what's he doing right here? Maybe I should be enlightened. What's he doing right here? Who are these creepy little grabblers? What's going on with these creepy little grabblers? What are they wearing on their neck, bro? What is this on this person's head, bro? Right? These people are creepy, Gnostic, little esoteric grabblers that think they're special boys, and this goes for Putin as well. Yeah, that's correct. He's part of the beast system. The beast system extends across the world.
Putin is keen to be with and be seen to be with the patriarch on key occasions of state and calendar.
Bruh, look at the grabblers, bro.
and he's seen to be with the patriarch on key occasions.
I mean, dude, what is going on right now? The special boys get the white hats. Oh, does white hats sound familiar? Does white hats sound familiar? Oh, that's what they say that the good guys helping out with QAnon are. They're the white hats in the military.
Of state and calendar. He is keen to be and seen to be at the church, a humble Russian worshipper with his people in the church, their church. Putin's grip on power, bolstered year by year, seizing control of the media at home, imprisoning or forcing into exile any powerful oligarchs who step in his way. Presiding over the years in which troublesome critics have come to terrible ends that cannot be traced to him. Alexander Litvinenko, abroad in London, coming to an agonizing and slow death via polonium-infused tea. Journalists at home, like Anna Politkovskaya, brutally gunned down in Moscow. You'll see little criticism of this.
Bro, this is the creepiest stuff I've ever seen, bro. What are y'all doing? Dude, if this isn't weird to you, you're a weirdo. Okay? And if you think, what do you think Yeshua would be saying? Yeshua would be checking these clowns so hard. He'd be roasting them, bro. I'd be in the corner dying laughing, bro. He would be pissed. It wouldn't even be a laughing matter. These creepy little grabblers tracking their blood back, thinking they're special, wearing Aryan hats, and no one in the world knows what's on their head. They don't even know what it means. It's literally an Aryan practice. This is what the Aryan nobility and kings wore on their head. That's literally what it's about. What are they doing? They're obsessed with gold and being little special boys, wearing all kinds of necklaces and dresses. Like, this is super weird. So, Russia says, hey, the women should have children. We're going to actually give you monetary incentive to be a housewife. That's really cool. This is still really weird.
Orthodox Church, for with the strong man come strong values, strong traditional
Who is
values.
this guy? I wonder who's this guy. They're so comfortable saying the word Jesus. They're so comfortable with this picture. They're so comfortable with the cross. They're so comfortable with their dresses and with their worship of Mary. I wonder who this guy is. I wonder what if one of the apocryphal texts was removed and said that the Antichrist figure will end up, his image will be seen everywhere. Well, Trump is. Does something happen to Trump? Does he come back? Well, why are they so obsessed with this depiction? It's not just because they want people to think that they really like Yeshua. No, this isn't even him. Anyone with 2 brain cells that looks into it knows this has nothing to do with Yeshua, and his name wasn't Jesus. You should ask yourself, who's Jesus? What does that translate to? Where does the word Jesus come from? What does it mean? Who are they talking about when they openly claim they're the secret society of Jesus? They're the society of Jesus. These creepy little grabblers are not just throwing this in your face for no reason. This is their religion. This is their Gnostic esoteric belief system, which means whatever you're seeing put in front of your face is encoded, and it means something to them, and they're very serious about it. They're creepy little grabblers.
News about what's right and what's wrong in the field of human relationships. And being gay, says the Orthodox Church, is being wrong. No Church of England, long years of agonizing and wrangling and internal arguments here, yet. Not one to mince his sermons, the current patriarch.
Dude, who goes and listens to... I'm sorry, I'm being reiterative. I just, who goes and listens to this guy and then, checks out? Seems legit. Look at what he's wearing, dude.
Kirill likened Western laws legalizing same-sex marriage as akin to the world of Nazi Germany's legislators. A few years ago, he called them a sign of the impending apocalypse. What matters to the Orthodox Church is that this message, their message, has been coming with some volume now from the Kremlin for many years and from the mouth of Putin himself. The words...
Wizards much? Yeah, I know, right? Thank you, Anthony, for hooking people up with a sub. You're awesome, bro.
Oblique. The message, quite unambiguous, though. The Church, too, believes the union of man and woman is the only natural and rightful way to live, and is not averse to telling Russians this message again and again. And Russians like what they hear. The other way.
I mean, how does that not immediately sound creepy to you?
To telling Russians this message again and again. The Russians like what
Oh,
they
by the way,
hear.
this is symbolic of Lucifer, and so they brought down the fire to humans in their little list of deities in their Gnostic creepy grabbler religion of secret boys or special boys, secret kings, right? So that's what this is. That's what they're passing off in the Olympics too. This is symbolic of the light bearer.
This message again and again. The Russians like
What does a wizard look like? I couldn't give you a better depiction of a wizard, bro. Like I couldn't make one up. Look at it. Look at the wizard holding the freaking things on fire, representing Lucifer, wearing a dress and a bunch of necklaces and a creepy little Aryan hat with like either Jesus, quote unquote, or Mary on there. Who knows? Who cares? This grabbler's super weird. So you want to talk about a wizard? I mean, here you go. This is 2020 wizardry at its finest.
this message again and again. The Russians like what they hear. The otherworldly onion domes of Sergei of Posad, which is to the Russian Orthodox what the Vatican is to Rome, is very, very much more than just a draw for the.
Listen, my hair's that way. I'm no wizard. I'm not talking about, dude. If you go around, okay, whether you're a sub or not, I really appreciate the subs, but if you go around wearing this, my man, you're a wizard, dude. Confirmed. Creepy Graveler wizard confirmed. But it's not the hair. It's just the creepy little outfits and the blatant shout-outs of reverence to Lucifer. Oh, listen.
The otherworldly onion domes of Sergei of Posad, which is to the Russian Orthodox what the Vatican is to Rome, is very, very much more than just a draw for the endless coach tours of Chinese tourists, disgorged daily into the vast square, crocodiling through the great 12th century doors. It is a power center of a church which has never had it so good since the Russian Revolution ended so much of its hold over ordinary Russians. The glory days are back, and 3 new churches are opened in Russia every day. Here in the UK, we search for uses for our often ancient, but equally often empty church buildings. With that, a church more than happy to get political.
Dude, look at this, dude. What is this? What is going on? And this is the crazy part. When they update this infrastructure and they start to build new smart cities and they have these places in Jerusalem and stuff, like it's going to be so pretty. It's going to be decked in gold and stuff. Like humans are so stupid, dude. They're going to be like, wow.
And not just with sexual orientation. Take Syria. The church warmly endorses Putin's intervention on behalf of President Assad as a moral and right action. And why? Because Putin is popular and so is the church. It's all about the Russians expressing again and with pride what it is now to be Russian. Suppressed and silenced during the communist era, and then the confusion and perceived humiliation of the post-communist years, we now have the Orthodox years.
I'm not shaving my wizard beard off for anyone, dude. Keep your beard, bro. Beards are logos. Please explain the fraud of the name Jesus to Scotty. Okay, yeah, Jesus, the suffix itself is tracked back to Zeus. Let's come back over here so we can have an eye-to-eye talk. All right, listen, son. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so yeah, Jesus, Ios, was the original. J wasn't even a thing. And the suffix is about Zeus. Okay, so the people that followed Yeshua didn't call themselves Christians, and they didn't say the word Jesus. But then the creepy little grabblers that are the Romans came in, absorbed it because they couldn't get it to go away. And they kept persecuting them and killing them and trying to run them off and threaten them away from believing in Yeshua and the scriptures. People refused to do so. They couldn't get rid of it. They even blamed an entire fire in the city on them, killed them. Then they kept coming back. So finally they agreed to the idea of, well, we need a monolith of ideology here. So Constantine's like, okay, I'm the special boy. So he unifies everybody into pagan practices. They moved the Sabbath over to Sunday. Sun worship already had festivals and parties, etc. on Sunday because of sun worship. So they just moved the Sabbath over there. Then they called them Christians, which was a derogatory term in origin, right? Because they actually, oh, look at these people that are basically like the Jews, but they think this dude came and fulfilled the prophecies of Messiah, and they just a bunch of crazy people that follow this dude around and think he was legit or something. And he was just a magician that they took his magic to be miracles. Okay, so then they adopt that where they call everyone Christians, and then they change Yeshua's name to Jesus, where the suffix has to do with Zeus. So everyone didn't even really notice the change for the most part, right? Because it's just, you still get your pagan practices, you still get your pagan festivals. We still have our festival every week on Sunday because of sun worship. Now the main character's name is just another attribution to Zeus. Okay, cool. They already worship the same deities that came down and were the Watchers. So no big deal here. They don't care about some name. And so, boom, there you go. Nothing changed with them. Jesus has nothing to do with his real name. It's Yeshua. And they love to say his name. So say his name real slow in Spanish and then tell me why you think that they say that name so much and they don't care to literally put it all over everything that represents their little occultic groups. All right.
And the Putin reign coinciding perfectly. Power, authority, and wealth. Yes, wealth. Some claim the Russian leader is one of the richest men alive. Putin chooses to show his bling with lavishly...
Oh, dude, this is so boring. I'm sorry. No one cares. All right, dude, we get it. So basically, at the top, the forefront here, we have the creepy little grabbler that is Donald Trump. And then outside of that, we have the creepy little grabbler that is Elon Musk. Now, do these people end up working together? It's possible. I don't know. But this dude's talking about like instantaneous travel and putting a chip in your brain. And so let's just cover the possibilities here, right? So Trump clearly trying to be the son of perdition. Is he? I don't know. I'm just some dude that doesn't like to shave anymore, right? I'm just telling you what I think, bro. So everyone chill out. But this prophecy did come from 2,000 years ago. You can verify that. It has nothing to do with grabblers. You can independently verify that. It's all over the place, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of time. Most historically accurate compilation that exists, most historically accurate figure that exists. So you need to just kind of piece these things together. They orchestrated entire false flags around Yeshua. So, if they literally did 9/11 because that's when he was actually born, they grabbled the entire calendar so they can make you think you're celebrating his birth on the actual celebration of Nimrod, when in fact you're not even supposed to care about your birthday at all, because in fact you're conceived prior to your birthday, and all the prophets denounce their birthday. It's like an arrogant, self-absorbed thing. Oh, look at me. This is the day that I was born. And it's not supposed to be like that. Even Yeshua wasn't like that. So we're not even told to celebrate his birthday. Ironically enough, we're not specifically told unless you are, of course, wise enough to apply the sky, and it tells you very simply with the calendar when he was born. They take that date because they know the truth about the sky and the truth about the calendar, the opposite of the Julian and Gregorian nonsensical calendar they got everyone on, and they have inverted it, created false flags, mass sacrifices, all kinds of crazy stuff. If the people even really die, I don't know, but they do like to kill people in their little sacrifices. They're creepy little grabblers that should get drop kicked in the face. So I don't know, but they do, of course, subvert everything. They've inverted the truth about Yeshua. So you should ask yourself, why are these billionaires and trillionaires and very powerful families, most of which we don't even know the real players' main names, that have basically controlled everything all the way up into royalty, extended all into all these presidents and everywhere you ever look where there's any power. Why are they so obsessed with Yeshua? Why is their whole entire Gnostic belief acknowledge him, just say he wasn't Messiah, acknowledge all kinds of stuff that he did? Why you get higher and higher up, you have to do things intentionally to mimic him, to mock him, to make fun of him. All of their plans are engineered around his birth and around the prophecies and around the true sky. You tell me why they're obsessed with him. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. I'm not here to be dogmatic or religious or have churchiology debates. I don't want to hear your ideology of churchiology. I'm good. I'm just letting you guys know that something's here, right? And Yeshua hated religion. He would come and just rebuke the entire modern church. You don't have to be like those guys to get down to the core of the truth. All you have to do is go close the door, maybe, and be real by yourself and figure out the truth. Read the scriptures. He doesn't leave you hanging. Most people just want to think they already have it all figured out. And Lucifer's done a good job of associating Yeshua with Christianity, and it has nothing to do with Yeshua. Like, modern Christianity is laughably dumb and subverted and almost always wrong about everything, and it was created that way. So with that whole long spill, yes, it does appear that clearly we're having crazy activity in the sky this year. If you understand the importance of the calendar, then you start to look at the fact that you have 12 months and 30 days exactly. You have perfect circle, 360. The creator's not trying to confuse you. It is Lucifer that is the author of confusion and the master of deception. Divinity is simplicity. That's what we find out always. The earth is geocentric, meaning the center. Well, of course it is, because all the stars go over top of us around the center of our earth. It's very simple, nothing complicated about it. The earth is geocentric. They told you it's heliocentric. The earth is stationary. You go outside, you don't feel it's moving. The sky moves. It constantly resets. We can't be moving. There's literally no evidence of it at all. Nothing would ever work. Half of the stuff that we use wouldn't work the way that it does. So no, we're not moving. God's not trying to trick you. It's not like, oh, you feel like you're not moving and it looks like the sun is setting, but actually you're falling backwards 1,000 miles per hour. That's a trick from Lucifer, author of confusion, master of deception. That's why right now, while he's clearly trying to present himself to the world stage in some form or fashion, they're constantly making sure everyone's in a state of confusion by saying, wear a mask, don't wear a mask, you're going to die, you're going to live, you're going to get the shot, you have to get the shot, get another shot. The shot doesn't help you, but you still have to get the shot. Now go back and be a good little Gorham slave and go into your house. They want you confused. That's what all this is about. You're geocentric, stationary. It's a plane. You go out, you see the horizon. It's always horizontal, right? It's always flat everywhere. God's never trying to trick you. It's the same thing with everything that's going on right now. You're seeing all kinds of things with the sky. The calendar was inherently and intrinsically perfectly made for you. The calendar is intrinsic with the sky. The sky is a timeline. It's a story, and it's literally scripture. The sky is scripture about Yeshua and the story of him and how he comes. He fulfills the covenant of Abraham. He fulfills the Messiah being born. He fulfills crucifixion. He fulfills resurrection, and then he comes back. The sky is all about that. It's a giant timeline. God exists outside of time, of course. Time is stupid. It's just this little concept humans have come up with, this human construct where we think we know what we're talking about, but we clearly don't. We're just quantifying passing, which is just an ideal and a concept in and of itself of the sky. Nevertheless, God exists beyond that. He's given you this whole entire timeline. He put it right in front of you. It's been here the whole time since the beginning. Like, oh, why does God leave me hanging? What are you talking about? It's literally written in the stars, bro. Like, it's literally written in the stars. So you tell me how he's leaving you hanging. I must be missing something here. You just have been detached from the truth. You don't even know what the sky is. And a lot of people here, they've figured out, oh, the sky is important. Something's special about the sky. I feel connected to the sky. Something's very important about the sky. What's going on above us? We've been lied to about it. They're closer. They're more local. Looks like they're in a fluid-like medium. They're beautiful. What are comets? What are meteor showers? What are the northern lights? Oh my gosh, the sky's amazing. What's going on with it? But then they stop and they hit a wall there because they don't put together or get the piece that's missing here, which is that there's a perfect calendar and it's all about Yeshua. And it ultimately culminates. Sorry about all that. Love your work, man. A true modern day hero. Courageous, righteous, fearless. Well, thank you very much for the kind words, bro. And the super chat. It's very much appreciated. And thanks, bro. You're the man. It's always good to get kind words. Every once in a while I get an email and they're like, I don't know if I should send this. And they tell me like a real cool story. I'm like, yes, dude, please send me that stuff. That's like the stuff that motivates me and makes me know that I'm doing the right thing. I just got to keep it pushing no matter what happens. Blah, 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 blah. So, okay, now we get it, right? You use the calendar. So when we take the calendar, and again, divinity is simplicity. God's not trying to trick you. You take the calendar, you got 12 months of 30 days. That's 360, a perfect circle. Everything in existence is perfect because it was designed. You're not just randomly shooting 11 vectors in a vacuum defying laws of physics like crazy people just took acid for breakfast every morning and made up stories about lights in the sky, and now they're purported to be fact in clown world. So it's very simple, 360 days. You have 4 additional days per year. Okay, these are the 2 solstices and the 2 equinoxes. That gives you 364 days. Every 5 years, you have a leap week. This is outlined in scriptures, which was the calendar was known, accepted, and applied across the board in context of the scriptures forever. Since the beginning, it's been accurate since it was first given to Enoch by an archangel, Uriel, and it's just been removed. A freaking archangel, Uriel, gave Enoch the calendar for humans and mankind, and we don't even know what the calendar is. 99% of people don't even know what it is, and the hand we dismiss it, and it came from a freaking archangel. I mean, that's pretty crazy if people were just being honest enough to at least entertain the potential deception here. Just be honest about it. You may think you know it's all fairy tale, but just you need to step back and be honest. This is a wild, wild deception. Because if you have this key, you understand what's going on in the sky. So anyway, you have 360 days to 4 days, and then you're outlined with the scriptures. This was all removed, known across the board back in the day. Every five weeks or 5 years, you have a leap week. Now, what this requires is you need to know a year to start it on. You have to know the right year to start it on, right? So that's where we get into where it gets crazy. But the cyclical nature of the timeline still are going to consistently be accurate and add up, and they predict the sky perfectly. The eclipses happen perfectly, like 6 months apart, and they have like this average that's perfect and cyclical, and that's why they can still predict them today using the Saros cycle, but NASA admits they don't use the heliocentric model to predict eclipses. They use the Saros cycle, which came from like 2500 BC from the Chaldeans. Well, yeah, of course, because it's just a cyclical nature that's repeating. But in fact, the Enoch encounter tells you about it all. It's going to be accurate since the beginning. It's going to be accurate till the end. That means right now it's still accurate, and we should probably start using it. And that's why I'm going to get some people to make them if they're going to work with me, and we're going to sell them, even though I'm not going to make any money, because that way you can actually have the key in your hand and know what's going on, trying to follow these alignments. So we have a conjunction on the 21st. We have all kinds of celestial alignments. We have all kinds of celestial phenomena going on in the sky this entire year. We have numerous eclipses. You look at it lined out with the Enoch calendar. It's every time it's supposed to be, okay? And then we've gotten in 2014 4 consecutive blood moons, and all of the solar and lunar cycle is perfectly explained and mapped out, but not only perfectly mapped out on the Enochian calendar, but when you take the scriptures, which is literally the thing that helps you understand how to actually interpret the calendar, i.e. the key to the sky, the literal key, like when you have a key on a map and it helps you interpret the map. This is the key to the sky. That's what the calendar is. And whenever you actually have the proper interpretation of the scriptures, you start to understand there's a council going on. God's the perfect righteous judge, and there's actually a righteous council, and they're going through different steps. They're doing different things. They're casting different votes. They're casting what they think. They're over a certain, they have to observe and basically see their portion of evidence, and then they have to cast their vote. And it sounds crazy to people, but truth is stranger than fiction. And you can't know about this stuff, because if you know that all that's going on above you, you can no longer say that you're not important. You can no longer hand-wave dismiss Yeshua, and you can no longer hand-wave dismiss the importance of getting right and repenting and being legit and turning from things that you know you shouldn't be doing right now, because you don't just come back as a butterfly. You don't just get to keep coming back and doing whatever you want to, right? That's the whole part that just lull you to sleep. Think that your whole time that you're alive, that you're good to go. You get to come back as something else if you mess up, or you just get to go be a god, whatever they can tell you, so that you don't face this blunt-hearted reality that we are fighting a spiritual war against principalities that do not in any way have the same advantages we do. They aren't limited to the physical vessel. So you're going to have to take the right in front of you keys that give you an advantage over the adversary, and stop playing the little games where you try to step into beyond the veil because you were put here with the veil. Oh, God's such a bad guy. He hid the veil from you. You don't want to see in the veil, bro. You don't want to see there. You don't want to know what's going on there. It's to protect you. Okay, so there's my whole rant. But the point is, if Elon Musk maybe is going to fulfill some type of role here, he's going to have to be doing things in a cyclical nature co-aligned with the sky. That is what we know. That's what we're told. That's why we're told specific dates and specific periods of time. No man will know the day nor the hour, not even the angels, but we will know the season. And when we know the season, we're told, okay, look, once he gets his power and he does this, he has power for 42 months, just unbridled power. Like no one can stop him. No one can check him. He has full power for 42 months. Okay, we know things like this. So once we see this Antichrist figure, once it becomes evident, and some say Trump's already done it, right? And when he says, like, I am the chosen one, when he looked up at the sky and then looked back at the reporters that someone had to do it, then he tweets the same day that he's the second coming of God and the king of 2 months. We're going to come up on it not before too long. I think it's possible that wasn't it. These are like little trial games that they're playing, like warming up and stuff, but they're going to make it very abundantly clear, but they may not. And then if I'm wrong about that, I don't want people to like be lulled into a false sense of security where I can keep doing what I want to, because the Antichrist is going to come on the scene. He's going to start breathing fire and say, I'm the Antichrist. And everyone just like falls for it. Right. So there you go. There's my take. So Elon Musk is doing a whole bunch of stuff. Is it a distraction? Is he part of the plan? Is Trump the false prophet and he's the Antichrist? I don't know. That's my second option I would propose to you guys, is that because of this part right here in the prophecy, and again, most of you want to think, oh, this is the prophecy is just coming true because it's like their little playbook that they wrote and that they're following it. Then that means you haven't researched it. You've come up with that answer, and that's your justification for not researching it because you want to act like it's just a waste of time or it's a trick or whatever. You haven't researched it. And I know this because once you research it, you would not say things like that, because the prophecies are way beyond them acting them out. They're so deep in spiritual meaning and embedded, and you have to corroborate so many scriptures to get to the bottom of it. And then once you see it, you see it. And it's things that are clearly way beyond these little creepy, lame grabblers' hands. It's way deeper than people, bro. It's way, way deeper. And if you research it, honestly, you'll find that out. So I think that Trump could be the Antichrist because of this. I mean, could be the false prophet. And the beast was taken, and the false prophet, which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. So I don't know. I don't know for sure. It seems like Trump's the Antichrist. And then this is where, you don't want to take the vaccine, even though they're making it obvious that they're making it obvious that this antiquated, or old version of these vaccines just aren't cutting anymore, right? So why stick with this old-fashioned, archaic, antiquated version of some needle, right? Why would we do that? We're already making a huge leap. We got a vaccine done in 9 months, a very convenient number. The amount of time it takes to have a baby, 9 months is the amount of time it takes for this luciferase enzyme with the quantum dot technology to be able to adequately map out your body activity. It says that in the medical journals, in the technologies, in the patents. I read them myself. Like, it straight up tells you it takes 9 months. After 9 months, they're going to be able to completely like master, mimic, and predict your behavior. You will officially, effectively be a slave. But it's not like, oh, well, I got 9 months to get this out of me, because we're told once you take the mark, you take the mark. So anyway, my point is they're gonna come out and be like, look, dude, this is the new technology. This is the future. We made it. We came together. Pressure makes diamonds, basically, right? And we all came together under the pressure of this crazy pandemic where less people are dying this year than last year, and the flu disappeared, and this is complete and total pseudoscientific nonsense where they're trying to make you sick while wearing masks, lacking oxygen, where you stay in your house and you're scared of everything, listen to frequencies of TV that make you sicker. But anyway, I digress. The point is, yeah, that they know that people are seeing through the vaccine, but it's okay because pressure makes diamonds. We had to come together from this crazy pandemic. And now we've got it all worked out. You know, humans always step up with technology in the most crucial moments. And here you go. Now we don't need to murder innocent, defenseless babies and then replicate their stem cells. We don't need replicated stem cells from aborted fetal tissue anymore. Like, oh, yay. We don't have to kill babies anymore. I don't have to keep lying to myself and call myself a Christian and say that I care about babies and I'm against abortion while I then take aborted stem cells from another innocently murdered baby and inject it into my baby. Now I don't have to lie about it. Now I can say, okay, yay, this vaccine's good and I'm against abortion. Yay, Trump's a hero. He's the one that spearheaded Operation Warp Speed, a vaccine that doesn't require murdering babies. It simply requires a completely artificial and artificially designed computer sequence of genetics where it manipulates your RNA, gets on there, it attaches with a binding agent, and then you're permanently different. And I don't care what any of the mainstream articles have to say about it. And if you type in, does it alter your genetics? You get flooded with stuff from like Snopes saying it doesn't happen. That should raise a red flag for you. I've linked it in last video where they bind to the molecular structure in your body. They bind to your genetic structure. It's just what happens. Okay, so they're going to come in and then be like, okay, why would we still be using this primitive thing like a needle with this brand new advanced technology? Okay, then we step in with Trump is the one that has a huge military budget. Trump's the one that's been putting tons of money technologically advancing the military in different components, and he's openly admitted this and like bragged about it constantly, how powerful they've gotten, how advanced they've gotten in the last 4 years. He said that he's going to use Operation Warp Speed to be able to deliver these inoculations across the board to every American in a very powerful way. Okay, so whenever he steps in, he's like, okay, Pfizer, y'all are dropping the ball or whatever, dude. Right, here we go. We're going to be able to facilitate it more accurately with less side effects. Everyone's going to eat it up. Everyone. And then when the people start coming out, they're like, look, I can't get sick anymore. They're going to do something like give people the mark. And it looks like the quantum dot's newer version of a vaccine. You can't even see it. They're going to put them in a room with a whole bunch of people with COVID, and none of them are ever going to get sick. They're just going to be good. They're going to show you these clinical studies and all of this stuff. And like, look, once you take this mark with this new technology, Trump was right. Like, you don't have to worry about anything. You're good to go. Maybe even call it a treatment, right? He's real big on the word treatment. Now, this isn't quite like the vaccines they made. This is a treatment, but it's the same type of technology or whatever. And the technology manipulates your genetics, but he just won't say that word for word. And what genes do they want to manipulate? What genetics? We covered this last night in the stream. They've tied a stream to your spirituality, to your connection to God. They want to actually manipulate that gene. They've actually proposed it in the Department of Defense, and not just from that video, in actual documents. You can verify all of it. They've said that it's a good idea and a good way to go and tame some of these Middle Eastern threats, terrorist threats that are radical, like religiously radical threats. And we're going to go in there and subdue them, make them docile, remove their spiritual connection that they equate to being some type of a threat to their authoritarian or totalitarian control. And that's what they've already proposed. But what Lucifer want to do with that? He's guiding this technology. It's way bigger than humans in lab coats that are squirt boys and just only get a girlfriend that doesn't like them because they have they're a trust fund baby or whatever, right? Like, these people are stupid. They don't know what they're doing. They're pseudoscientific morons. They're drowned in pseudoscience. Like, they're playing a game way out of their league, right? But they're just being manipulated to come up with these things, with these primitive representations of much deeper spiritual things. That's what medicine is. It's a spiritual attack. It's pharmakia. It's sorcery. When you get sick, there's something spiritual going on. Okay, that's just the truth. And you need to denounce generational curses. You need to get away from vaccines because it's freaking sorcery. And this is the new updated version, and it's clearly coming. And if Trump does that, he's 100% the Antichrist. Like, he's already so much the Antichrist, you just can't even mess with it. You can't even get close to anything the dude says. Every time you talk to someone, you got to be like, watch out for Trump. If the dude comes out with a new updated version using the freaking military to facilitate it, that's crazy. Then who is it? Because this gets crazy too. I was thinking, is Pence a false prophet? Because Pence is the guy that came out and just took the vaccine in front of everyone. But I still think too much has gotten out about it not being safe. Over 50% of Americans already didn't like vaccines. So this is the perfect segue to, look, we had to get past aborted fetal tissues, poisonous chemicals, not allowing them to sue you, blah, 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 blah. We had to get a new version. Here's the new safe delivery system, quantum dot tattoos. Here, we took the poisonous chemicals out, whatever. And there's like a Trump version to fight the COVID. If there's a Trump version via the military, then you're really, really going to have to step back. So there's my take. And so we need to keep our eyes on dude and not be obsessed with him, not worship him, not constantly care about what he has to say. Just keep an eye on his actions. Pray, meditate on the scriptures, not to, I'm a God, and all this other stupid nonsense. And figure out what the truth is and put it together and piece it together, and then iron sharps iron. And we need to wake everyone up. You need to also be ready to have to dip out. And if you do already know Yeshua is real, then you need to be ready to face what comes with it. You're going to have to be comfortable with death. And if you're not comfortable with death, I would challenge that maybe you need to strengthen your relationship a little bit. Because if you're not willing to die for Yeshua, that means you probably don't really know it's real. And like, I love you guys, but just saying that you believe it or whatever doesn't mean anything, right? And I understand why people are like, okay, this is stupid, because everyone just says that they believe stuff. But if you know it, you know it. And I know it. So like, it's not like I'm a special boy. I'm just letting you know there is an actual point you can reach where you know it, and it sounds crazy, and I can't even in any way convince you of it. You would have to do it, but it is real. And anyway, whenever you do figure that out, you do swallow your pride and you pursue that or whatever. And maybe we just didn't all have it all figured out, and Yeshua is actually way more important than we thought or whatever. Then you're going to find out that they're going to come in and attack those people. And so you have a choice to make. Can you integrate ego and convenience and pride and arrogance into this decision to say that there's no way Yeshua is right? I'm not looking at any of it. I'm a special boy. I'm going to be a God, or whatever you want to think, that you're going to come back, that we're all connected. This nice wizardry where you hand wave dismiss the specifics of Yeshua because you just have a big swoop of a brush that you talk about religion and you make valid logical points about how religion has been used to corrupt and sucks, right? And somehow that means that, we don't even have to look at the story of Yeshua or figure out what's going on at all. Then you're going to be easy to coax into just complying when the pressure's on. And people right now, they're like, I will never. Yeah, you will. People do. That's what happens. Everyone does. So I know I just went on a big rant. My bad. Thanks for the diamond, bro. We have the spark. Yes, Father, wake up our brothers and sisters. Yeah, it's time to wake up. Wake up. Wake up. It's all good. You had a good run. You thought you knew everything. None of us do. I don't know everything. My entire understanding of all this could change tomorrow. And you know how comfortable and awesome of a place that is to be? It's awesome. I don't have to worry about what anybody here thinks. I don't care what anybody that makes hit pieces about me thinks. I don't care what anybody thinks. It's just like, I don't have to worry about that. I don't know everything. I'm obviously not completely right because I just made like 20 different guesses. I can't be right. That's the best place. Just keep looking for the truth without bias, though. Like you can't just be like, well, we're not gonna know, so let's go turn Netflix back on. All right, let's see if we can check out this little graveler a little more. I don't want to play freaking Sodomite Rogan on here. Some people says that it's a fairy tale. All right. Let's check it out. Let's check it out, bro. Because this dude, look, I do think that this dude might play into it, okay, because that wasn't the video I was trying to show you, but there's a video that the Trump administration stuff puts out, and they're doubling down on space all out. So they're going with space. Like, they're doubling down on space so hard, and this goes back to the QAnon exposer I told you about, the Austin Steinbart dude. He got arrested by the FBI. They're trying to make it look legit, like he's legit, really trying to drain the swamp, buck the system. He's the real guy behind the Q Intel, Trump's Q Plus, and then they're going to blah, blah. He's always talking about space agencies and talking about Space Force. They just came out and announced with Mike Pence. Actually, let's just watch that. So they're all about the Space Force. I used to say, like, oh, they might come out and absorb flat Earth. It does not look like that. It does not look like that. Let's check it out.
Welcome to the first anniversary of that branch of our armed forces that will ensure for generations that America remains as dominant in space as we are on land and sea and air. Welcome to the first anniversary of the United States Space Force. It is my honor, on behalf of the President of the United States, to announce that henceforth, the men and women of the United States Space Force will be known as Guardians.
Oh, yeah, the Guardians. You people are going to fall for the aliens, bro. How are you people going to fall for aliens? I don't even know how to actually comprehend it. I've been telling you guys about freaking aliens for 12 years. I'm sure my whole chat's been telling everyone about alien deception and the fake aliens for like over a decade. And they're still going to fall for it. They think it makes them the special boys that they went around talking about aliens for 5 years. And now it's true. They were right the whole time. Oh my gosh, if you fall for the freaking aliens, why would they ever lie about the Earth being a ball? I can't imagine.
The space race began in the 1950s and it continues today.
Wrong.
And in President Donald Trump, we have a commander-in-chief who's understood clearly that space is a warfighting domain. It's imperative that we invest the resources and the personnel and the technology to defend our nation and defend our values in the outdoors.
Guys, it isn't a frontier of war. It's a freaking natural law violation. Like, what? They're actually doubling down with it. It's pathetic. It's a great deception. Okay, but it seems real easy to see through. I don't see. You guys have got to wake up. It's going to be the most frustrating part if this is where we start to hit some of these climactic things and people really just fall for it while we're sitting here telling them like how obvious it is not to fall for it.
Outer reaches of space. We're leading in space. But our determination under this president and with this extraordinary military leadership is to stay in the lead to defend America and defend our freedom from space.
Okay, they're talking about defending their freedom from the one that comes down and wins in the end. I don't know if the Grabbler skips to the end of the little book. I guess I'll break the spell for you guys. They're waging war on the army to come. They're prepping for literal war. Okay, they need to prep for war against threats from the sky. That's what they're talking about. And they're going to do this on the ground and in the lower areas of the sky. And they're going to prep the whole world to do this because they're going to have a one world order under the reign of the Antichrist where they wage war on the saints. That's what the whole plan is. So what is he talking about? Well, that's what he's talking about. Just like the Matrix inverted it and told you that the angels were the bad guys.
So happy birthday to the United States Space Force. God bless our guardians. God bless all the members of our armed forces. And God bless America. Semper Super.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you should already know that America, that word, has obviously got some like crazy occultic practice tied to it. I think what this thing is called. There was this little video that they put. They just put this out, and it's just so weird, dude. I don't know where it's at. Bro. Let's check this out. Let me see.
Donald Trump wants to start a Space Force.
Space Force just announced that he's directed the United States military to create a sixth branch.
A sixth branch of the military governing outer space.
Well, I would like to point this out. So you got Trump. If you've ever seen him younger, he has a little bit of swag, you know. If something happens where he goes back to like this younger version, I mean, dude, and it is in the process of everyone thought he died, people are going to freaking worship him, bro. They're going to worship him. They already do.
Going to have the Air Force, and we are going to have the Space Force.
And it's important to understand that the truth is that each different independent military branch has an Air Force already. They're going to do away with the Air Force and just have Space Force with independent branches of Air Force, subservient to Space Force.
But what is the Space Force really? To answer that, you have only to look at the U.S. Air Force. Right now, the Air Force's Space Command handles all military missions in outer space. That includes launching military and GPS satellites and flying missions with the super secret.
Oh, that's probably real, huh, Globers? Oh, shut down the channel. The Earth's a ball. This is what you get, Globers. It's 2020. This is what you get. You get CGI. This is laughable.
Missions with the super secret X-37B.
Oh yeah, we still use big propulsion rockets that are huge and bulky. Yeah, for sure.
Plane. Space Command employs more than 38,000 people. Trump essentially wants to separate that division of the Air Force into a sixth military branch.
The Space Force has the sixth branch.
It's similar to how the Air Force once operated as part of the U.S. Army throughout World War II, but became its own branch in 1947. So Space Command is less about Space Marines and more about protecting satellites and policing space debris, at least for now. Decades after the first space race between the U.S.
Oh my gosh, shut up, dude. But yeah, a lot of people are bears because a ton of base people with logos are bears. To the conversation going on in DLive. So my liberal son is going to say, I love Trump. Well, you don't have to love Trump to worship him. You can just be obsessed with him. Oh, you mean like all the liberals?
And the Soviets, some experts believe space could become the next theater for a major armed conflict. Though Trump's order to create a space force may sound official, it's far from a sure thing. Creating a new military...
Oh, this is some gravy, though. Bet you anything Elon has his own secret Iron Man suit being developed. Bet you anything. Like, actually, they always do put truth in movies, right? And if he comes out with some super secret or super advanced technology in the form of morphing AI with his Neuralink with some type of suit and some type of embodiment of, like, what people would call a god, and he'd be 2/3 God, 1/3 human or whatever, and it looks like he dies, but he uses Neuralink to bring him back, and everyone wants a Neuralink because now you don't have to die anymore. Oh, there's a sickness going around. Well, dude, just give us the Neuralink, you don't die. And nothing's going around. Yeah, it's the great deception. People are going to take something that permanently alters them for something that doesn't even exist. But there are plagues in the end. So plagues will start to exist. And you see how much people are cucking to a vaccine right now. How much are they going to cuck to like an updated version of some type of marker when plagues start really happening? And you know what protects you against the plagues in the end, guys? Just so everyone knows. God. Not wearing a mask. Not being scared of going outside. Being right with God. Protects you from the plagues. Come out of her so that you partake not in her plagues. That's Babylon.
Branch requires approval from Congress, and lawmakers already shot down a proposal to create a Space Corps last summer. Both the Pentagon and Defense Secretary James Mattis, a member of Trump's own cabinet, were opposed to the idea.
They're not weaponizing space.
But men will want to die and they can't. Exactly, bro. Exactly. Like you take that Neuralink and people will long for death, but it will evade them. So yeah, the Elon thing is a big part of it. Again, Trump could be the false prophet, and they're throwing everyone the curveball by putting him on the coin and everything, making it so abundantly clear. They're throwing him off where Elon's going to come out and seriously say he's God and like he's master death and he can give it to everyone else. Like that would be crazy, right? So
People dealing with space as it's developing.
But again, and the beast was taken, and the false prophet, which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast. So, you know, Trump's the one that's going to maybe trick everyone into this and then be like, look, I've been working with Elon. Elon's a good guy. Once the QAnon psyop starts and they say we're draining the swamp and look at all this, and Trump comes in as the hero, blah, blah. So basically, in summary, my most probable possibility is still, I don't really know. I really don't know. I know that Trump's involved. I don't know how else it works. I would say it's very, very, I lean more towards it not being the vaccine in its current form, but you don't want to take the current form. It could still be the mark of the beast. It just progresses. It progresses to where everyone takes it. It's like it has the quantum dot tattoo. It changes your genetics. So anything that's going to change your genetics could be the mark. I don't know why anyone would mess with that, but yeah, maybe they come out with a new updated version working with Elon. And it's like, no, it's up to you. Maybe like you can just get this little stamp nanotechnology in your wrist, and it's no big deal. Or you can go all out and have the Neuralink, or maybe they offer the same thing. I don't know all the specifics, but it seems like a crazy time to be alive, guys. If we're going to be honest. Groipers. Thanks for your content, man. I just started watching like a week ago and I've learned a ton. No problem, bro. Yes, Exodus 12:13, Psalm 91. Yeah, dude, come out of the beast. Check Owen out, worth less. Oh, Brad, you never heard of Owen? Owen ladles the gravy. Dude, a ton of the words I use come from Owen, dude. There are people that like spiral in the chat about that. I mean, in the comments every once in a while, like, give Owen his catchphrases back. I'm like, you know, if Owen hits me up and is like, dude, stop using my words, I'll be like, okay, dude, what? But then we'll talk about it. I don't think it's like a hat tip. People are weird. Yeah, I think grabbler's hilarious. It's just a funny word. I don't even use it the same as most people. I use it to describe all the little creepy weirdos. All right? And his application of gamma male is hysterical and very useful, especially when I'm debating, breaking down, look, you think you're a secret king, like you, whatever. So, like, yeah, I think it's funny. It's going to be okay. Everyone's going to be okay. And yes, I'm a bear. Whitsitt gets a bear. Well, just Whitsitt gets it. All right. Owen says some things that trigger the minds that shouldn't be in his chat. Yeah, exactly. And I see somebody that's having a bunch of issues in the chat. Look, man, if you're having issues with the people in the chat, then you're in the wrong. I can just go ahead and tell you. Oh, Jesus, must be nice. It must be nice. All right, so we're at like an hour 40. What's it? We got one guy that like makes a wigger joke every time, thinks it's funny every time. I don't know. Like, whatever, dude. Like, honestly, the fact that people spiral because I wear a hat backwards every time is like one of the main reasons that I wear it. It's just so funny to me. It's like, what a bunch of weirdos. Anyway, there you go. There's my take on everything. I don't really know. I don't know where everything goes from here, but keep an eye on the little grabber that is Elon. So I'll give you my final take, what I think is the most probable thing right now to be on the lookout for. Okay, so this is how we'll wrap it up. Oh, I guess I could do the recap. So, all right, recap of the stream commences in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And basically, we just simply covered that your boy Elon is a creepy little grabbler that says he's going to do all kinds of miraculous things, like send people to space, and everyone gets to go live up there in space, and we have super fast cars that can go everywhere. Oh, and we're going to put a chip in your brain, and yay, everything's so cool. just come follow me. I'll make you immortal. Here's a little machine that actually puts the freaking thing in your head, Neuralink. It's just a bunch of creepy little grabblers. What did he test it on? Nothing better than to test it on than, of course, pigs and swine, where the uncleanly demon spirits were cast into by Yeshua, clearly unclean swine. And that's why they use this. It's right in plain sight. Elon's getting really sketchy. Okay, what else we got? Oh, here he is, just straight up. Oh, you're just going to line up, and we're going to put this chip in your brain with a robot. Oh, look, we literally stick stuff inside your brain, like, I don't know, close to your forehead, and alter it, but nothing to worry about here. It's painless. You won't even notice, but you'll be able to speak every language known to man. Just download it, just like the Matrix. Oh, then we have this creepy little grabbler behind the scenes. I don't think that he's really much of anything, but clearly probably a female or something. I don't know. It looks like he's completely dead inside and doesn't even know what emotion is. And we move on. Of course, he is literally the owner of 666 Fifth Avenue. Could be a coincidence. Who knows? Here we go with some more. I don't know what that is. Okay, and now here we go with another creepy little grabbler, which is Putin. He is one of the mountains, one of the kings of the mountains regarding Babylon. And we just went through how, dude, if you ever want to know what a wizard looks like, just go check out what Putin likes to do on the weekend, because he's a creepy little grabbler. And people that say he's based, well, no, not really, because, well, look at this clown show. What are they doing? This is hilarious. What a bunch of creepy weirdos. And then, of course, we come back to Donald Trump, none other than the grabblers trying to tell you they want to rebuild the temple, fulfill 70 years. This is the lion and the eagle referred to as the Antichrist. And here we go, anointed one, which means Messiah, Moshiach. And then here we go with Trump's little peace and prosperity promised. Everything's awesome. I'm the man, blah, 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 blah. And, of course, at the end, you get to listen very carefully because, again, it's about the eagle and the lion. You hear the eagle, then you hear the lion come in at the end. Of course, this is the eagle at the top with the head, the two wings. This is the lion. And, remain sober because the lion comes to devour. I mean, they're not even hiding it. Trumpets. So, yeah, something's going on with this guy, but he could be the false prophet. They're throwing you a curveball where you think he's the Antichrist, so Elon can come in, be loved by all, and celebrated. But he is supporting Trump, so it seems like they may kind of be working together. Here we go. I was just showing that this little creepy metrosexual sodomite actually can be charismatic at a point, but then we re-listened to it, and, well, I was just about to pull my actual ears off of my head because it was incredibly boring. But we have peace and prosperity worship. Of course, once they promise peace and prosperity comes instant destruction is the literal prophecy. And, of course, they promise peace and security, and they're just a bunch of little weirdos. Here we go with your boy Elon still being a creepy grabbler where he wants to just put stuff in your brain because, well, I don't know. Maybe this dude thinks he's the ultimate secret king and he's a special boy, but who knows? And then here we go. They've clearly doubled down Space Force. Who's the one telling us that we're going to space? Okay, what's the Space Force actually talking about?
It is my honor, on behalf of the President of the United States, to announce that henceforth, the men and women of the United States Space Force will be known as Guardians.
Yeah, okay. And you've always heard guardian angels. So they're looking at the guardian angels on their side, with, like in the Matrix when everything's inverted, what you think are the good guys. The guardian angels, they're guarding against the ones that come from above and wage war against them. They're going to wage war on the saints. They are starting for war for the threat from up above. This is just straight up telling you in plain sight that they have what they call their little angels, their gods, their worshipers, their leaders, their chiefs, their army. They're raising up an army to fight the threat from above. And that space is a battlefield. And they're telling you straight up, space is a battlefield. And yes, it is. There's actually an archangel over punishing the luminaries, the rebellious luminaries. It's literally battles going up there. I wonder what comets are. I wonder what meteor showers are. Everything's deeper than you think it is, deeper than the surface. You've been tricked. Just accept it. We'll come back and we'll check this out in a second. So in conclusion, very simply, just for the recap, and I'm going to clip this out so you guys get a quick version of it. Whenever I say possibility, and then I have the infinite symbol in the sky, it means, well, basically there are infinite possibilities. Not literally. We only have a handful of people that have actually fulfilled the prophecies to an extent, but we're trying to figure out who's the son of perdition, who's coming at the end. Are we in the end? It appears we are in the season of the end. We know that everyone always says that they're in the end. Everyone thinks that they're the special boys, and everyone has been flooded down with the doctrine of men, don't even know how to interpret the prophecies or the scriptures or even actually believe in them. So does everyone always think the president is the Antichrist? Does someone always say that? Yes, indeed they do. That's how they condition you for decades, though, to maybe look over it. So, of course, we covered that it does look like Trump's at the forefront to be the Antichrist. He could just be the false prophet that tricks everybody into actually taking the mark. As it says right here, and the beast was taken the false prophet, which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast. Maybe Trump's the false prophet that coaxes a lot of people, including the church, into being apostate and convinces everyone to take the mark, which will be a different updated version of the pharmakia that he's pushing right now. Everyone's like, okay, we can trust Trump and we can trust Elon. Okay, they get together, billionaires that want peace and prosperity and want freedom for America. They come together, false prophet, Antichrist. Maybe Elon is the Antichrist and Trump is the false prophet. As it comes to Jared Kushner, I think a small player in the bigger thing, just trying to distract you away from the world figures. Putin is just one of the kings. So very simply, we appear to be in the end. You need to look at the Enochian calendar to fully understand the cyclical nature of events. We have culmination of cyclical events in the sky and celestial events that are happening in 2020 in an astronomical rate, pun intended. So everyone should just open their eyes, step back, be more attentive, get right with Yeshua, figure out exactly how we can apply spiritual discernment to figure out who the son of perdition is. And so we can go wake up our friends and families before it's too late, prepared to have to be on the move and just keep it pushing, stand strong and not fall till the end. We actually get a special recognition if we get killed for it. There you go. Basically, the summary is we don't actually know exactly what it is. No man will know the day nor the hour, but we will know the season. We have my man Leland Jones coming up with a bunch of very good ideas. He's matching up prophetic dates. He seems to be onto something big time, and it appears to me they may be so blatantly out in your face, but still not too loud out in your face about some of these things so you think it's Trump, and then Elon can come in and try and trick everybody because, he agrees with Trump. He's going to back him up. He agrees with the economy being free. He agrees with the government not shutting you down. He's going to promise you peace and prosperity. If somehow Elon can spearhead that, I don't know. But then again, it's just much better fit for Trump because one of the prophecies of the Antichrist, as we will cover in a future stream, is that he'll get you to turn back to worshiping your gods of gold and silver. And one of my predictions for about 9-10 months now is that Trump comes in, resets the system, the financial economic bubble that is the economic system in America, and he replaces it with the tangibility of precious metals like gold and silver, and everyone now has actual valuable wealth. He resets the debt, jubilees, new currency with gold and silver. Everyone becomes obsessed with gold and silver again. He starts to build things in gold and silver. They build this temple with gold all in it, and people start to literally worship gold and silver. It isn't just some metaphor. So there you go. That's my take. That's where I think we are. Anyway, we're clearly approaching the end, or it's very likely, or at the least very possible. And so everyone should wake up and just stop thinking they know everything. And there's the recap. All right. So we're going to try that out and see if, because people keep saying, I want to send a video, and they're so long, So let's check out this next video. Here you go.
Neuralink is a neurotech company founded by Elon Musk with the mission to play with the most complicated and complex part of the human body, that is, the brain. The company is ambitious in its being confident that it can implant tiny electronic devices drilling through the skull into the human brain in order to treat people with neurological disorders and to enable humans to interact and control computers using brain signals. Pretty cool, but at the same time, really hard to believe, right? Welcome to another business automated video. In this video, we're going to look into Elon Musk's next billion-dollar company that can potentially transform everything about us, normal human beings. Before we begin, make sure to like this video for all the research, time, and work dedicated that went into making it a reality. Let's see if we can get 1,000 likes on this video. Now, let's get back to our main topic. Making neural chips seems to be the curious side of Elon Musk. The billionaire already owns the dominant electric vehicle manufacturer Tesla, the space-exploring company SpaceX, and the Boring Company, which is making machines that will dig underground tunnels for transit systems in cities. It turns out that curiosity of Elon Musk also encapsulates one of his main fears, that is, artificial intelligence. Elon Musk
He will bring breath and life to the image of the beast. To an image. He'll bring life to an image.
Artificial intelligence. Elon Musk has frequently stated that one day AI will be able to control the human race. However, founding Neuralink indicates a clear victory of Musk's curiosity over his fears. The realization that direct interaction with the brain is possible came into being when a 2-electrode test was conducted. Electrodes are the devices which can detect electric fields inside the brain. Whenever a neuron is activated, when transmitting a message, for instance, an electric field is created. Neuralink can use 2 electrodes to detect which neuronal structure is sending the message and which one is receiving it. The message can be recorded in the form of signals and transmitted with a transmitter to the outside chip that will interpret it, and this way a person transmitted with a transmitter.
This is your natural frequency and vibration that God designed you with. This is the mark. This is the detached version where you will not even have the ability to repent. You will refuse to do so. You will be permanently altered and detached from God. Natural frequency, beast frequency.
To the outside chip that will interpret it, and this way a person will be able to control a computer with the power of thought. Similarly, some signal from the outside can also be fed into the brain, thus providing a possible treatment for those suffering from a number of neuronal disorders.
And again, of course, Trump could just use Elon's technology. That's what people need to get. Maybe Elon's the false prophet. He's the one that tricks everyone into getting the mark. And Trump is, in fact, still the Antichrist. And Elon becomes the false prophet. I don't know. I know that everyone else doesn't know either. That's why I'm not interested in churchiology debates. We're just trying to Sherlock Holmes the situation.
Neuralink chips will not be mandatory for people, but if your brain works like a computer, you definitely would be given preference for an existing job opening over a person with a normal brain. Potentially, it might mean that everyone would be interested in having such a chip implanted. The success of this project can make Elon Musk the richest man in the world, and that too with a big margin, as people won't be...
Wait, real fast. Just to point this out, one of the main... I don't want to give the joke away yet, but one of the main ways that one of the main evidences against Elon Musk being the Antichrist is right here. One of the main evidences against him being the Antichrist. That's the type of stuff that makes me not trust people. Like, what is he doing, bro? Like, you think the Antichrist would have a little rhythm or something? He seems kind of gay. Let's be real. Maybe he's just like not a human. He can't dance because he's like not real. Rhythm is what breaks the algorithm. You white people are screwed. I can believe this dude has no desire for women. You know, like he's not much of a stretch after seeing these moves that he just doesn't know what like females are. Wow. What a goofball. He did as above slow. I don't know. I thought that was funny. that's the best evidence against him being the Antichrist for sure, bro. But I don't know, maybe that's how the Antichrist ends. I don't know. We live in a clown world. We're just trying to put the pieces together. Join us.
Buying phones and computers when they can do all the things with their brain and the Neuralink chip. Elon Musk describes the
He looks like the king jester. Yeah, exactly, dude. What if that's what that was and he's just a false prophet? He's definitely a puff. Yeah, I would agree. That's Bill Gates dance. Oh, pull that up. Okay. He did the Pee Wee Herman. I can see his man boobs giggling from all the soy. This dude, that's the most sodomite thing I've ever seen. Let's be real. Shout out to all the legends that hit me with the sub, by the way, on D Live. And he would still beat Trump in the dance off. Dude, that would be hilarious.
whole Neuralink system as a Fitbit.
But he low key likes Trump. He's shown his support for Trump. So it's just very interesting, right? Because he's maintained this. He's been able to maintain this middle ground where like the left still loves him. He's just like the hero of humanity or whatever. This could be the guy that coaxes people into taking the mark. And Trump administers the mark and enforces it.
Elon Musk describes the whole Neuralink system as a Fitbit in your skull with tiny wire. The company will fit 96 thin, flexible wires which will have 3,072 connected electrodes inside the skull. There will also be a component called Link, which will contain a brain-to-machine chipset called N1 and some other electronic circuits. Some portions of Link containing N1 chips will be on the brain's cortical surface, and some of it will be outside the skull, behind the ear.
No, it won't.
There are about 86 billion neurons in the human body, which communicate with each other through synapses using electric signals. Each individual flexible thread that will be injected inside the brain will be able to monitor 1,000 brain neurons. Those threads are very flexible and slim. The threads are slimmer than human hair, and each has a diameter of just 6 nanometers, which is 10 times less than that of a human hair.
No, that's not creepy at all.
Each thread will have 32 electrodes along its length that will be able to detect.
Hey, you want to be a part of the mark of the beast? You want to be a part of the beast system?
Human hair.
You can become this guy. Look how enlightened and special you can be. You'll be the ultimate special boy. All of a sudden, your remedial incapabilities will turn into advantages, and you'll be able to add and subtract.
Each thread will have 32 electrodes along its length that will be able to detect brain activity as well as to stimulate it. The human brain is very soft, and stiff wires can potentially cause a lot of brain damage. The brain is not motionless either. It moves a bit due to heart pumping and lungs breathing, for instance. The floppy wires that are going to be used in Neuralink, therefore, are a great solution because they will have fewer chances of damaging the brain tissue and remain embedded in the brain for a longer time. All the 96 floppy threads containing 3,072 electrodes will attach on the N1 chip inside the link at cortical surface. The N1 chip is very small, measuring only 23 millimeters by 8 millimeters. The N1 chip will receive the amplified signals from electrodes and interpret them as digital instructions. In addition, the chip can receive information from outside and can send it into the brain that will act on it by stimulating electrical spikes.
Right, because, dude, the beast... Okay, so the image of the beast is given life and brings... Let's go full over here. So the image of the beast is given life, right? And like begins to speak and stuff. Okay, artificial intelligence. So you take the mark of the beast. The beast is the artificial intelligence beast system. You're taking its mark, the mark that connects you to that, right? And there's a figure that pushes it on everyone and makes everyone take it. Not comes up there and dances and says, hey, look what I got. He says, look, you got to take this if you want to buy or sell. Right? He enforces it. So if you see where I'm going there, like the mark, the beast itself, right? If referring to an artificial intelligence augmented reality that you plug into the mark itself, then like it doesn't really matter who is attributed to designing it. It doesn't necessarily mean anything. All right. This is clearly not even what we were watching.
Simulating electrical spikes. The outer, skull-wearable portion of Link will be a bit larger in size compared to its inner portion. This part will have the battery and software of Neuralink. In order to recharge or update the software, the user can remove this wearable part and after recharging or updating, put it back again. The Link will also have sensors for measuring pressure, temperature, orientation, angle, and inertia.
Yeah, I'll address this because dudes bring this up. It's a good point. I might do an Elon stream in like next week or something. I don't know. But there was a group in Canada, I think. Yeah, so Elon's father was on the Technocratic Board of Canada. He was arrested in the United States for technocracy, the idea of wanting to replace the diplomatic structure and hierarchy with technology itself. Technocracy, a ruling authoritative government of technology. He was arrested in the United States in the early 1900s. He was found guilty. He then won the appeal, and was like let off with like a $15 fine. So his literal dad was on a technocratic board. Now you fast forward, this dude's trying to put a chip in your brain.
The floppy threads are so small that it is impossible for human hands to put them inside the brain without causing any damage. The problem of threading the wires inside the brain is as complex as making a space rocket to land back safely on the surface. The solution to this problem has been offered by the company by introducing a robotic surgeon, which will assist humans in completing this difficult task. The robot will be able to identify the places where the threads need to be placed, considering all the variables, without causing any damage to the nerves and blood vessels inside the brain. The surgical robot will be able to insert 6 threads into the brain per minute. Almost 2 hours will be required to put 96 threads inside the brain by making a 2mm incision dilated to 8mm and drilling through the skull. The robotic surgeon will have a microscope for high precision. So far, the testing has only been done on animals like rats, monkeys, and pigs. Human trials for Neuralink seem not a possibility for now, because a lot of permissions are required before it can be checked on humans. A monkey during trials...
Oh, you mean like the type of regulations that can get slashed through because of some crazy pandemic if plagues were to actually break out? Uh-oh.
...has been able to interact with the computer using the Neuralink system. In August of 2020, Elon Musk presented a pig named Gertrude, whose brain was embedded with the neural chip for over 2 months. The signals from pig's brain were recorded on a graph, keeping record of her real-time neural activity while she ate and walked around. With the signals recorded, the company was able to predict pig's movements. In July of 2020, good news came for the company when the United States Food and Drug Administration designated Neuralink chip as an upcoming breakthrough device. But still, a lot of approvals and testing are required for human implantation. Neuralink's main focus for now is on helping people with brain-related disorders, especially paralyzed patients. This technology will enable them to become independent again by just thinking of something they want to do, like controlling artificial limbs.
Yeah, people are going to fall for this, dude. Yeah, using space and rocket analogy makes me feel so much better about it. Yikes. Yeah, exactly. These people are psychos, dude. I'll tell you what I think.
In computers, writing, and drawing. The company is also exploring the usage of this technology for dementia, brain damage, Parkinson's disease, stroke patients, hearing, and sight problems. In the future, the Neuralink chip could be the most important technology owned by a person. With this chip in your head, you will be able to control anything like an iOS or an Android or a Bluetooth device by just thinking about it. An application has already been developed by the company to train your brain to perform such actions. The company is also optimistic that with this technology, high-quality music can also be streamed directly into your brain. If Neuralink chips are out in the future, you will be able to communicate with others without speaking, to drive a car without your hands, to type without your fingers.
It's super creepy when you think about how they're talking about you can do everything with your brain with this chip, and he's setting Starlink like a grid network system all over the world. I mean, super weird.
Keyboards and to play games by streaming them directly into your mind. While there are many pros of this technology, it also poses some serious threats to humankind. Computer-like viruses could easily hijack the humans. Someone else can hack into your brain and do whatever, like making you do illegal things by controlling your brain or wiping off all your memories. Hardware defects can also
Wiping
happen.
off all your memories. Whatever Trump brings out, dude, I'm not going to be surprised if this is already in it.
Which can end your life. Brain is a very sensitive organ that remains in the state of constant change, caused by evaluation and re-evaluation of the processes happening in real time. The addition of the Neuralink system can change the dynamics of the development of the brain, and this is not what we may be seeking in the end. Make system can change the dynamics of the development of the brain, and this is not what we may be seeking in the end.
In the end. So yeah, there you go. We covered last night. There's actually a gene VMAT2, where they connect it to your spirituality, your connection to God. They think they found a way to synthetically alter and manipulate this, so where they can remove your connection to God. They do this with all kinds of things. They do this with Xanax. They do this with all kinds of things, but it just numbs you down temporarily, right? And like doesn't fully detach you. They want to take this next step where they just like genetically change you to where you don't have a connection to God anymore, and they remove your memories and your understanding of oneself and your soul. Okay, so that's the ultimate plan here. Trump may just roll out working with Elon, the other little creepy metrosexual clear squirt boy that's a sodomite, Austin Steinbart. He tells you that Elon's a white hat, he's a good guy, and he's helping us with Space Force. He's helping us with a ton of stuff behind the scenes. He straight up says that. So does he come out stamping his approval for this new type of technology, and he's the false prophet and gets everyone to take the mark, and then Trump enforces it? Seems very possible. Is there some other version where it plays out further along, where Elon is in fact the Antichrist and Trump is the one? It seems more that Trump's the Antichrist and Elon will somehow step in and trick everyone because everyone likes him and believes him. And he's in a perfect position to be a false prophet because of all these technological advancements and stuff. And he just tells you, like, look, you know, this thing was working super good. We've been working on it behind the scenes ever since the Holocaust kicked off, and we've been working on it before that. And we've got a version where it can be ready by the end of the year or something. I don't know. I'm not sure because I don't agree with I don't necessarily agree with Leland's timeline, right? So there's a take, just something to be on the lookout for. I just wanted to give a take as to the possibilities. I think there's a few decently probable ones, and it would be Trump and Elon in one way or the other. Jared Kushner, I don't think so. Putin, I don't think so. But it remains to be seen. So there you go. There's my take on all that. I'm going to get out of here. We're over 2 hours. Let me add some lemons. And shout out to all the legends that have kicked it in D-Life. 67 people. We got a bunch of unplugs in here, so shout out to all the subs. Y'all are awesome. We've got 730 followers, so we have 177 people on YouTube. If anyone's on YouTube and they haven't followed me on D-Live, please do. I have till the 31st to find a way to get 1,000 followers, so I need to get to 1,000 by the 31st so I can become like a verified partner, or at least put it in. Blah blah blah. But anyway, and yeah, if you want to help the boy out, $3 a month, 298 lemons. Just go. You can sub over there, and you get a little tag. Whatever, but we're just trying to make sure we get the verified partner status by the 31st. So hopefully you can pull it out. And shout out to all the people trying to help. Thanks again for the couple super chats I got. I hope I didn't miss a super chat. Let me double check. I hate if I do that. But yeah, I finally went and got a PO box. A bunch of people were asking me. So in the description of the YouTube video is my PO box. I'll read it off in just a second. Let me make sure I didn't miss any super chats. Oh, Sativa and me with another 10 that says, thanks, Whitsitt. Well, thank you, bro. You're the man. Always tossing me some shekels. I appreciate it. So thank you for the 3 super chats. Thank you for all the lemons. The lemons should be, there you go. They should be facilitated. Wait, why did it only, how much did it give? I'm sorry. I thought it was going to give more than that. I guess it didn't. It won't let me do it again. Oh, I can do it again. No. You can't do it back to back. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll add some extra ones next time. Actually, we'll add a bunch of extra lemons next time. And then we need everybody to go follow. And if you don't mind even subbing to DLive. So maybe what we'll do is here in the future, we'll have a stream where we start it on YouTube. And then we're just going to move over and it's going to be exclusive gravy to DLive. And then I'm going to put it on my BitChute afterwards. So if you want to catch it live, you got to come kick it with the cool boys, the cool kids, because we've got to get prepared for them attacking me. They just took my freaking stream down out of nowhere and didn't tell me anything. So anyway, there you go. Links to support in the description, blah blah blah. You know how it goes. Let me make sure I didn't get sent anything during the stream. We're working on some like logos and merch and stuff, so we got some announcements coming once we get it all figured out. Some new visualizers, maybe a couple of new songs. All right, we're good. Over here, shout out to Robert's new Patreon last night, or this morning. Thank you very much. You're the man. And yeah, just hit me up on there if you ever want to. I'll check my Patreon messages every day because there's not too many people on there. I keep up with it real easy. What's my P.O. box? Well, I don't know. Just a second. Yeah. Austin Whitsitt, P.O. Box 584, Parsons, Tennessee 38363. It's in the description. And I'll make a little PowerPoint. I can pop it up on the screen next stream or something. But P.O. Box 584. It's in the description. Thanks for all the support. Much appreciated. If you can't afford to support me in any way, just don't. It's not a big deal. I'm not asking you to. I do appreciate support what you like or it goes away. I agree with that sentiment, though. So do if you can. Don't if you can't. You know, the content's free. So just come kick it. And I'm going to start doing little short videos where I post up there summaries of things that you can send to people that'll be like less than 5 minutes that really break down some of this stuff so you can wake them up to some of these things we talk about in more depth instead of just having to convince someone in 2020 to listen to a 2-hour stream is basically impossible. So shout out to all the legends that watch it. Yeah, and that's about it. I think that's all that housekeeping that we got. Let me double check with DLive. Thank you for the diamond from Globebusters. Love you, buddy. Love you too, bro. Oh, my man just hit me with sub for 3 months. You are the man, bro. And we got where do we find In the Field song? Not on SoundCloud. Like, why would they lie? Yeah, maybe I should put it I'll get it on SoundCloud or something. I'll look into that too. I keep forgetting to, but right now I have it on YouTube. Thanks, much love, friends and bears, no doubt. You doing a show tomorrow? I don't think we have Globebusters tomorrow, but yeah, I'll do a stream sometime tomorrow. Good chat, legendary stream. I think we might be doing Enoch tomorrow. I might do a stream early in the day then, and then we'll do legendary, or we'll do a stream on Enoch at tomorrow night if we can get everyone set up and agree to do it. Legendary stream, thank you. Really great stream, thank you very much. My favorite. All right, cool. So I think we're all caught up. I'm going to catch up with you on the flip side. So obviously we got a lot of things we should be paying attention to right now. And we'll just continue to try to break down some of this wizardry as we go. I didn't have a ton of time to compile a lot of stuff. I just wanted to lay out to everyone to answer a bunch of unanswered questions and maybe the comments or whatever. Exactly what I think. I'm not making any definitive claims about Trump. I think you need to keep your head on a swivel for all kinds of things. I think they're just now ramping it up. I think that we've yet to see the real big deceptions, and they're just getting everyone ready in a state of confusion, so they'll just absorb whatever deceives them. And I still stand behind, watch out for the Trump's a hero psyop. And that's like this diet woke, void of spiritual take on it, right? Like if you don't know there any spiritual importance could be here, then you're just, the way you need to understand it is clearly Hegelian dialectic, problem, reaction, solution. Trump was cast in the world, plays a hero. He's a Jesuit, bought out by the Rothschilds for $4.8 billion in the 80s, gave him a sweetheart deal, let him maintain like over half ownership of the casino after they gave him like $5 billion. The freaking Rothschilds, which we've come to find out the Rothschilds are actually so public because they're lower on the hierarchy and they're just like the bankers. They're literally like the bankers of the real little special boy grabblers, secret kings. And we actually know the Jesuit order is important and in charge of like basically everything, but there's just different sects under the Luciferian doctrine. And of course, Trump's a Jesuit and went to a Jesuit school. And then you get Q, 17th letter. It takes 17 years to complete Jesuit training. And again, this little creepy grabbler, Austin Cyborg, straight up says, my number 17, my symbol is the Phoenix. So it seems like, the Jesuit thing is tying into the Luciferian son of perdition, and we need to keep an eye on it and know that if the master of deception is orchestrating this, then it's not going to be as easy as just like, I've known it the whole time. And there's my closing take on that. So, seek and speak truth unequivocally, and never back down from weak-minded people. They're always going to team up on the stronger, independent people and try to shut them up with mob mentality. It's because typically they're not that smart. They're scared. They're weak. Just take pride in it. Wear it as a badge of honor and seek and speak truth unequivocally. He who has nothing to hide hides nothing. And you're not supposed to partake in darkness, but rather expose and reprove it. And Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So do not fall in that camp, right? Like, just inform yourself. Knowledge is power. It's very, very powerful when you're the only one with it. They think they're special. It's time to flip the Overton window, flip the script. We got to stand up and wake people up that want to be woken up while there's still a chance. And there you go. You basically have an obligation. It isn't about convenience or what you think is the easiest thing to do or the easiest people to talk to. You actually have an obligation to wake people up, but you also need to apply wisdom and know when to just keep it pushing, plant the seed and keep going, dust off your feet, let the dead bury the dead. And there you go. We have to learn to start applying spiritual discernment to things and figuring out a lot of these things are way deeper than we think it is. And it's all coordinated to the sky, which was written for you. And it looks like there's something very, very, very important going on up there. And it isn't just lights and some water. It's super, super deep. And there's a council going on. And there's an ultimate climactic end to all of this. So like I always say, unplug. Just unplug. At this point, it's like unplug from the beast system. Unplug from the beast. Unplug. Because they're going to eventually get everyone to permanently plug in. You need to get out before then. Unplug, okay? Step back. We can only show you that you're plugged in. We can only show you that some of these lies exist, some of these deceptions exist. We cannot force you out of it. It's your own decision. So, we're just encouraging you to unplug. At least notice the fact that you're plugged in, and now you're going to have to make a conscious decision. You can't unsee it. And that's kind of our job, is to remove your excuses and give you the information and lead you in the right direction of the true information. And then you're going to have to make a personal decision. And that's where it comes full circle back to let the dead bury the dead. You cannot convince someone that doesn't want to know what the truth is. Then it doesn't matter. You can't wake them up. If they want to remain in a slumber, then let it be. So basically there it is. Unplug. Just unplug from the beast system. It's a good thing, and you realize that very quickly once you unplug. So after all that being said, if you want to support the channel, links in the description. Maybe a DLive only chat coming tomorrow. It will start on YouTube, then move over to DLive, maybe earlier in the day, so maybe keep a lookout on it. And then maybe at the original time, that 10 Eastern, 7 Western, 7 Pacific, 9 Central, right? So 10 Eastern every night. Then we go live on here. So maybe 8 or 9 Central tomorrow. We'll do the Enoch stream. So we may have 2 streams coming tomorrow, because I don't think we have a Glowbuster stream. And there you go. I was trying to work on a bunch of this other stuff behind the scenes. And I will catch up with y'all tomorrow. Peace out.
Geopolitically, we in a field. Just for Israel, wonder is it real? Rappers acting steady high, steady simple pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up, had to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in a field. Just for Israel, wonder is it real? Took the way you saw the world, then distorted it. Now you think you want a rocket twirl somewhere orbited. Theories disproportionate, the truth distorted quick with a forceful grip. They forcing the simple that we absorb it quick. Took the people's signature to mean extorted it. They forging it, abusing cause informants who informing them. There's a surplus, but they tell us there are shortages. Credit economy mortgages, dollar that's supported with empty fortresses. But what's important is this: we porting ships, supporting gifts. Of course it is, but extortion is in accordance with an assortment list of foreign tricks. We ignoring which informant this, informant this. It looked like we were storing tricks. Pedophilia and the government endorsing it. Yeah, eugenics is exactly what abortion revolutionists. You just vilify those insubordinate. Way to matrix engineer, that's unfortunate. Geopolitically, we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder is it real? Rappers acting say they high, say they simple pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up just to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in the field. This for Israel. Wonder is it real?